to Main Street and Mickey, and welcome to another episode of our cast member series. I really hope you all have been enjoying these. I know that I have really been enjoying reliving my memories from when I was a Disney cast member during my Disney college program. I, for some reason, suppressed some of these memories, and ever since I've started looking at my old journals, at old pieces of paper from then, I'm like, oh yeah, and it's like, it's amazing. I mean, Figment is so right. One little spark can something imagination. But yeah, one little spark has set everything off in my mind, and I'm loving sharing all this stuff with you. So last time I talked about traditions, and I talked about what we did that day, getting to see walking in the Magic Kingdom as a cast member for the first time. Brought tears to my eyes. And so yeah, it was really just a magical experience, and I thought this time we would talk about, so today I thought I would talk to you about my role that I had as a cast member during my Disney college program. There are many roles you can choose from. So today I thought I would talk to you about my role as a cast member during my Disney college program. There are many roles that you can be placed in. My top three, because you are allowed to give your preferences, but you are not guaranteed those at all. But my preferences, from what I remember, I know I put character attendant, I put hotel reception so I could work at one of the resorts, and I know I think I put guest relations, so not character attendant, but guest relations. And I put merchandise, but merchandise was my very low one because I had worked in retail before and I wasn't very fond of it. I don't mind it, but I'm not I'm not good at selling all the time, which is great since I'm in PR. Go figure. But I want to help people more than I want to sell to people, if that makes sense. So there's that part of retail that I love, where I get to be hands-on with people, help them find their need, help them solve a problem, things like that. But let me sell you more, you're in my store, I'm going to take all your money, I'm not into that. But when I saw that my role is merchandise, I was very bummed at first, and I was like, okay, well maybe this is I'm not supposed to go do this because I'm not the best at that. But then I watched the videos. They have these videos that you can watch called Every Role a Starring Role. And so they make it look like a magical experience no matter what role you get. And so I watched those videos. I watched one, and it was a cast member working at the Emporium, which is the big store on Main Street in Magic Kingdom, and she's helping all these little princesses, and she's helping open in the store, and there's pixie dust everywhere, and I got caught. I was like, oh, yep, that's the job I want. I get to help little princesses. I get to, work with the merchandise, blah, 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 and they got me. It wasn't bad. I did not mind merchandise. There were aspects of it that I absolutely loved. But there was a lot of the selling that I just didn't care for, and that was me. But to start it all out, they first start you out on training. You do, I think, 1 or 2 days training at Disney University, and so that was fun. We learned how to do their cash register. We learned how to do returns. We learned how to count back their money. Disney actually has a specific way you're supposed to count the guest money back to them, and it was freaking confusing, but I eventually kind of got it. I know we were all of the new DCP people, we were learning this, and we were like, why do we have to count it back? I think someone kept saying, but why do we have to count it back like that? Why? And she said, the instructor got so ticked at this person, she finally said, because that's the way Walt did it, and that's the way we're gonna do it. It's like, well, there you go. Not sure Walt really counted the money back to the guest, but whatever. That's the way Walt did it, that's the way we'll do it. If it was good enough for Walt, it's good enough for us. So that's what we did. We trained with a plush Tigger, which I guess there's like a running thing about, like, I guess that was the one thing they used to teach merchandise cast members, like how to sell it, like how to scan and how to make sure you get everything in and all that. And once when Annie and Mom visited me, Annie saw that same plush Tigger, because it's a plush Tigger they actually sell in the stores, and she saw it and she was like, oh, I need this is so cute. And I was like, oh, like I had memories of like when I was practicing with it. So I love that she got that, because not only was it a memory for her, but it was a memory for me. So that was really cool. So there are various aspects of being a merchandise cast member at Walt Disney World. And during your training, you are taught the various roles that you will have to do, such as stocking, working the floor, merchantaining, which if you remember from our Disney class that we had a couple weeks ago, and if you remember from our Disney lingo class, that is when the cast members get to play with the merchandise to show it off to you, the guest, and we get to play with it, we get to wear it if it's wearable, that kind of thing. Loved merchantaining. Favorite part of merchandise was merchantaining. And so that is another aspect that they teach you. They teach you how to like just keep the floors clean, which is basically, I mean, you just kind of basically walk around and make sure that your section is picked up, that if a guest has a question, you answer it, blah, 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 blah. And there's also, of course, the role when you are at the register, at the POS, or point of sale is what we call it. And I had a love-hate relationship with the register. I loved it because really no matter what store, I shouldn't say no matter what store, at my home location, let me talk about this for a second. So, when you are put into your role, you are also put into a home location. My home location was the World of Disney. Now, when I first, and I said this in the traditions video, World of Disney was the last place I wanted to work. I said that if I could work anywhere in the whole Walt Disney World, I don't care. My words literally were, I just don't want to be put at World of Disney. I was put at World of Disney. Okay, God, you're trying to teach me something, aren't you? I get you. I get you. But it really, I found some magical moments in it, and I will share those later on. But it just definitely was a test for me, because it was the least magical of all working locations, I felt like. And I think a lot of people who have worked WOD would probably agree with me. I know a lot of people that I worked with there would agree with me. But it's because it's really just specifically merchandise. It's not in a park. It's not in like where you get to dress up like Pirates of the Caribbean. They're dressed up as pirates, and they, you come off the pirate ride and they're in there selling their pirate stuff, and so there's like a story to that. There's purpose to that. And I just felt like, okay, I'm working at a Disney store. That's it. I'm not working at like an actual merchandise location in a park. Like, so that was really hard for me, but I did learn to like various things about World of Disney. One of the things I liked about World of Disney was that it was always crowded. At any given moment, there were people in there. It was few and far between that I had moments of quiet. So if I was put on register at the POS, then I was like always busy, especially because there would be these huge rushes of people. Because if one person is checking out, everybody decides to check out. I mean, I don't know what it is. It's just science, people. It's just science. It just kept things going. I got to interact with the guest and talk to them, and when they understood English, and that was hard for me because I was not great at understanding people who didn't speak English or who were trying to communicate to me because they didn't understand English and they were trying in their broken English. Like, I felt really bad sometimes because I'm not good with languages, and I'm not good with trying to understand people. That is a definite downfall of me, especially in merchandise. Like, you need to be able to understand your guest. It was so sad because one time one little girl came up to me and she said something in Spanish, and I said, "No hablo español," and she just looked at me with the saddest face, like, "You don't speak my language? Why don't you speak my language?" And then she just walked away. And I was like, "Okay, bye." And because I wasn't going to yell after her and try to help her, but I just felt so bad. So that is one thing, working at Walt Disney World. Make sure when you work at Walt Disney World, start brushing up on your languages, especially Spanish. Just start brushing up on it, be able to make little conversation with it, just so that you can do the best and offer the best service to your guest. That is a big tip I have for anyone going into not just merchandise, but any role across Walt Disney World. Start learning languages. But especially focus on Spanish. That is my big tip. That is one big thing I regret that I didn't do, is that I didn't focus on trying to be better at understanding what people were saying. So, I loved doing the register for that reason, though, because I got to interact with people, I was always busy, and once you're behind the register, you are not allowed to leave. You have to, unless you absolutely have to go get a drink or whatever, but they don't want you to leave your register even to go get a drink. You have to be dying of thirst to be able to go get a drink or go to the restroom, whatever. So that was a big thing, and I liked it for the reason that it kept me busy. I didn't like it because I also felt stuck. Working the floor at WAD. How to say this nicely, was just boring, because I always, even if there was nothing else to do, literally nothing, I always felt I was being watched, because there are managers walking around everywhere watching your every move. I understand that they want to make sure that their cast members are doing their job. But on the other hand, when you don't allow your cast members to merchantain, yes, you heard me right, stalking. Had a love-hate relationship with that too. I liked it because, again, it keeps you busy because you're constantly having to stock stuff, especially at World of Disney. You were always restocking shelves or whatever in your specific area. I had to do a 12-hour shift one day, and it was close to the beginning of my program, and I had to do a little bit of everything, but it was mostly stocking, and that was awful because I wasn't out with people. That's why I didn't like stocking, because if you were in the back and you were having to restock the shelves in the back or anything like that, that's when I felt claustrophobic, because I was stuck in the back. I never saw the light of day, rarely, because even our break room was upstairs in a tiny little hallway room that I don't feel like should have been a room. Anyway, so that's why I didn't like stocking, because stocking at World of Disney, at least for the most of the times I had to do it, was just not, I just felt like I didn't get to interact with anybody except other cast members, and even then, one of my favorite times working at World of Disney was when I would get jewelry shift. Jewelry shift was rare and far between when I would get it, and whenever I found a shift open that I could switch with somebody, or somebody was trying to get rid of it, I would try to pick it up, because I loved working the jewelry counter, because you were always behind there. You could it was kind of like working at the register. That was your assignment for the whole shift, just working jewelry, and it was awesome because I got to work with the jewelry. I wasn't behind my counter, but interacting with people, helping guests, helping like little girls get jewelry, helping moms, helping daughter. Like, it was just fun. I would go do that right now. Right now, I would, if someone called me like, hey, can you come work jewelry at World of Disney? I'd be like, I'll be there. But I don't think they're gonna do that. I loved it, and I would, like, if I could have gotten secured to do only that, which some cast members got to, pretty sure they were like the season, or not the seasonal, but the part-time and the full-time people, then I would have wanted to stay at World of Disney, and I would have not traded my shifts, but I will talk about that and trading shifts another day. So yes, that's your lowdown on working merchandise, at least at the World of Disney. I will talk about working at other merchandise locations, so stay tuned. Because I worked at every park, and I worked at Disney Springs, all around there. So yes, I am just going to give you the lowdown on as many of the places as I can remember, because I worked in every park, and it was awesome. So I will give you some lowdown on that. But that's your basic lowdown on the merchandise aspect of being a cast member. And it has its great moments. It really does. So if you get that role in the Disney College program, or you get that role as your actual, job, then you will just make the best of it, because it truly can be as magical for you as it is for the guests that you get to interact with. So those are my things that I wanted to tell you about merchandise. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that you all subscribe to our channel. If you haven't already, hit that bell notification as well, because it will tell you when we post our new videos. I've been enjoying sharing my memories of being a cast member with you all, and I can't wait to share more, and I will even share some roommate stories since Lydia wants to hear them, and maybe some other people do too, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, that is basically all I have for today. And class, you are dismissed. Have a magical day. Where's the set of my glasses? I think I'm going to wear these for all of these videos because I'm teaching y'all. So these are my teaching glasses. So these are just going to be part of this little costume I have going here. Costumes. That's definitely a blooper.